Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy you come here because the topic we gonna discuss, we're gonna explain. It's for my personal opinion, it's the most important topics existing on the earth for the time being. And, uh, and if you read the brief information about this press conference, you should know that it's concerned basically survival of planet. Why? Because what's happened on the February 21st, it's not madness catastrophe in Europe, but it's a very speedy development to turn to the nuclear war. Why? Because the war starts since ultimatum from Mr. Putin could be accepted from the rest of the world, because in ultimatum he wished to redesign the territory of Europe and return it back to the 1997, which is against the whole human law and the common sense. And since then, everything, it's not between Russia and Ukraine, forget about it. It's not a country. It's a challenge. It's ready to use crime for the humans of all planets. Why? Because the everyday provoking to face direct hit with NATO members. Why? Because he declared that he's gonna use the nuclear power in case he needs. This situation, I really wonder why it's so calm down everywhere. Why everyone turned to this small point and call it conflict? It's not conflict. It's a challenge for the humanity. Right person having 16,000 nuclear bombs, taking the rest of the world ready to destroy it and show it by his order readiness to make it there. It was never existing before. So dynamical process starts in 2014 when the first time since Second World War was annexed the part of the neighborhood and cross all the victims of the Second World War, millions of them, who was died in pain and suffer because of one crazy guy tried to do the same. Let's go to the topic. We are here to offer the peaceful plan how to solve this unprecedented situation. And the story begins, we arrived to Varanasi for Mahashivaratri to pray for the Shiva to find the answer. And the answer was given. It's a very mystical story. It's to happen only in India. And because of the India, it's the country with the motto Satyameva Jaya. Satyameva Jaya. It's only one country in the world. Everyone use it. Everyone knows the meaning of these simple things. So we are here with the public offer to everyone on the earth. Why? Because in such situation, it's touch everyone who is here and everyone who is gonna listen. Personally. Why? Because everyone alive on the earth have a right to live This is the basic and fundamental right of the human being. The knowledge I got during this mystical culture, Kashi Varanasi, I love the brother, Swami. Swami. You have to name names. I was confused from the beginning, and then I understood everything. We are dealing not with the criminal, military criminal. We are not dealing with murder. We are not dealing with bloody bastard. We are not dealing. We're dealing with losing the mind pensioners. The guy who is untouched from the reality since first time mentioned Mrs. Merkel from Germany. He was mentioned first. The guy disconnected from the reality. And after that, for 8 years, everyone, millions of meetings, millions of discussions, millions of everything, and final ultimatum to the world and the ability to use nuclear power. Issue, it's a very strange. We have not much time because every moment we see by the order of untouched of reality pensioner, I don't know how, but it's a madness. Bombing the innocent cities in the center of Europe. It's not friendly, it's brotherhood state. Independence since 92, officially declared, all papers, everything. So, we are talking about peaceful plan. The idea is of the peaceful plan that a society, worldwide society, supposed to officially state the condition of the Mr. Putin. He need a doctor. He not to need to go to Gaga. He not to need to go to the Nuremberg. He need to see a doctor. Because it's a mutual problem. There is no Russian, Ukrainians, Indians, and everyone anymore. So call to Russia, Russians do not follow his orders because he is incompetent. Okay? Special message for those who is near him. Guys, you can save the world and save your life. Giving him to the doctor, stop the war, start to move the arms, and then figure out what to do with all this such and how to manage your country, turning it to a normal way. But the most important thing is to stop the war. So, by law, the psychiatry only one science of medic. When diagnosed, you can put from the words of patient, from the deeds and words. You don't need concealer. You don't need anything. And moreover, the question is very simple. Tell me, if the person who is ready to destroy planet for any kind of his interest, normal or not, if not, we have to state it. If we state it, we unleash all of the guys who is part of this system, because there is a system to follow Kirill's orders. To follow orders of the guy who is incompetent. That's it. No one gonna follow. And then how to make it? We prepare a petition to the Committee of Human Rights of United Nations. You see today as your problems you're gonna forget, like those lovely, brave Ukrainians who is hiding right now in bomb shelters. Need to be done. Everyone's supposed to participate. Why? Because it's a foundation for the next bylaw step to make the statement from the United Nations by voting, supported by the people. This is basically needs to gather it together. All of us, not only in India, but everywhere. Why? Because even now, what's happened, it's irreversible. It's gonna touch every one of us. And we are in one step before, as I say, every second, every minute it could start nuclear catastrophe. Catastrophe already on the development. So we pray for those who suffer. The Mahadev always with those who suffer. The Mahadev never is aggressive. He's crying, looking, like, because no one named it. Tears, blood, and suffering. Name it, said Mahadev. Say name of the existence. Face the truth. Don't to be scared, to say yourself that only one way to bring light to the darkness is to name it. And everything gonna be settled down. Marshall Plan for the Ukraine and Russia. That's only one way how to solve this problem. Otherwise, we're gonna make nuclear war. So this was abstract. What I said. You can find in open sources what he said, what he did, and everything. So that's all correct. Putin encroaches on my fundamental right, the right to life, based on the documented deeds of the patient Putin and the inhuman war unleashed on his orders in Ukraine. I demand from the United Nations an official statement of the fact of the insanity of citizen Putin. Insanity, it's not like it's another, totally another strategy of how to solve it. Instead of blame him, release him, give him to the doctor, let doctor take care of him. Why? Because his order brings sorrow and just put the wall near the self-destruction, not self-destruction. His destruction. Putin as incompetent. So this is called for everyone who serve the system, because there is no power of anyone except the system based on pseudo-legitimacy and compromise. That's how it works. So all orders of Mr. Putin for the whole world gotta disappear. And for those who wish to survive in Russia. Why? Because without Russian people, we cannot solve this problem. You don't need to go to the meeting. You need to just go, sign petition, and the rest would be fixed. I demand orders. For those who will transfer Putin to doctors, I demand the guarantee of freedom as the savers of the world. I demand an amnesty for those who, by the sake of coercion, served the inhuman system created by mentally ill Putin. I demand an immediate stop to all military operations of the Russian army in Ukraine and in the world. I demand an immediate withdrawal of all troops from all occupied territories in Ukraine. I demand democratic election in the Russian Federation under international control, the complete demilitarization of Russian Federation and Europe, and Marshall Plan for the integration of the Russian Federation and Ukraine into the post-war global economy. That's the text of the petition. The text is based on what? This is the axiom. This is the how it is. You can try to hide it, you can try to don't talk about it, you don't need to scare him, you don't need to call him criminal. Why? Because you're dealing with the guy, politician and doctor, it's two different professions for the freedom. That's how it works. Otherwise, we're gonna face nightmare, guys. Probably we would never meet again. That's how it is. And that's it. So, how to make it reality. My officer forced me to do something and I don't wish to do it, it was no choice to touch me. I always find the reason why. I can break something, I can drop something, and that's it. Everything against my will, I find a way. So I call to anyone who keep clear mind of what I say. The orders from Mr. Putin, you don't need to follow, guys. I believe we will have some break. Yeah?
We can share the link with him.
Huh? Share the link. Yeah. I will give you the link for the petition. Yeah. Because the guys, you have now two choices: be blow in nuclear war with your chief, or be on Gaga tribunal. Why? Based on what's happened as a result of the orders, and who gonna be involved.
मैं माननीय श्री प्रधानमंत्री जी नरेंद्र मोदी जी का बहुत बहुत साधुवाद और धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा कि आज हमारे देश के भविष्य को, युवा पीढ़ी को, जो बाहर इस संकट के समय में दूसरे देश में फंसे हुए हैं और उनको मिशन गंगा के तहत वापिस लाया है, तो मैं उनका बहुत ही साधुवाद और धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ। साथ ही रूस और यूक्रेन के दोनों देशों के प्रेसिडेंट को विनती करता हूँ, प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि इस मानवता, इस क्रूर कृत्य को रोका जाए, इस महायुद्ध को, संग्राम को रोका जाए और शांति से इसके लिए कोई भी रास्ता निकाला जाए, शांति से शांति का प्रस्ताव रखा जाए, बातचीत की जाए, क्योंकि युद्ध कोई भी समस्या का हल नहीं है। युद्ध जो है केवल और केवल हर एक जीव को हानि पहुंचाएगा, प्रकृति को भी हानि पहुंचाएगा। बच्चे, औरतें, बूढ़े, हम टीवी में देख रहे हैं, खाने के लिए तरस रहे हैं, छत गई है घर की, न तो जगह है रहने के लिए। तो ये सब बहुत ही कष्ट और दुख की बात है। तो मैं दोनों देशों के प्रधानमंत्री से, प्रेसिडेंट से विनती करना चाहूँगा कि इस महायुद्ध को रोका जाए और शांति का प्रस्ताव स्वीकार किया जाए, शांति से बात की जाए, शांति से हर चीज़ का निर्णय होगा, शांति से रास्ता निकलेगा। बस यही हमको कहना है।
It doesn't make any sense. I heard the wise men discuss the meanings. The smart man discuss the circumstances, and the rest discuss the people. I don't want to talk particularly about anyone except the situation. Why? Because it's worthless. That's it. Brave Ukrainians starving to protect their land as a right given by God. When I pray to Mahadev, he used crying like baby. Why? Because we don't name. It's ignorance. And because we scared to name the things.
हर समय हर घड़ी हम प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये पूरी मानव जाति संकट में है। बच्चे से लेके, औरतें से लेके, बूढ़े से लेके सभी संकट में है। युद्ध कितना भीषण है आप सभी लोग जानते हैं, क्या स्थिति है आप सभी लोग जानते हैं, और प्रार्थना के अलावा हम कर भी क्या सकते हैं।
Mr. Andrei, you talk that protein has to be, taken to the doctor, right? And if we see history, if we see Russian Soviet history, so we had Lenin, we had Stalin, right? Then we had the.
May I ask you one question? When you're talking about Russian, what do you mean? You can talk about only yourself. Why you have no idea about Russian? Talk about yourself. Please.
No, I am asking you that you are saying that put Mr. Putin to the doctor, and the war will stop.
Yes.
So I want to know that maybe the war will stop now. What about 100 years later? Won't we have another Putin?
No, guys.
Swamiji would also clarify. We have to remove it from the.
So that's the point that you not carefully listen the text of the petition. When you're gonna read the petition, the all answers is there. It would never, ever, anymore, anything on the earth when we solve such a problem. Why? Because for the time being, we have three dramatic situations. Three which multiply drama to the planetary stage. The first, the biggest humanitarian crisis in Europe never existed before. More than 2 million refugees for Europe is a nightmare. It destroys everything. On approach, the civil war in Russia as a result of the nobody wanna deal with them after such a brutal and violent activities. Like, for example, if you see your neighbor eating the piece of the human, you don't want to eat with him on one table, you don't want to deal with him. This is the normal reaction of every normal people. The biggest ignorance for the many wise people, it's honor that they think they can deal with.
Yeah, what is
It's
it?
documented declaration of the particular human to destroy the planet for his own interest. You don't need a doctor. That's it. For me, this is insanity. I have to call it and say that there is need to be treated of any harm. Not need to be punished, not need to be scared, not need to be, with all my compassion of all of the guys who is the hostages inside of Russia, who is
सहन नहीं हुआ। कई दिनों से देख रहे हैं न्यूज़ चैनल से, टीवी में, मोबाइल में, फेसबुक में, हर जगह देख रहे हैं। सहन नहीं हुआ तो सोचा कि अपने मीडिया बंधुओं के माध्यम से कोई संदेश दिया जाए, प्रार्थना की जाए, विनती की जाए, शायद इसको कोई मान के इस योजना को विराम करे। इसलिए प्रेस में आना पड़ा और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी से मैं विनती करूँगा कि वो बहुत ही एक प्रभावशाली व्यक्तित्व वाले प्रधानमंत्री हैं, एक बार हस्तक्षेप करके इन दोनों प्रेसिडेंट से बात करें और शांति का प्रस्ताव रखें।
it was declared and the situation going worse and worse at every single moment. The guy disconnected from the reality. We need to name it. Name it and release him. He is not criminal. He is just tired pensioner, disconnected from the reality. That's it. God bless all of those who suffer from this nightmare. This is a man-made, insane man-made. He doesn't know about it.
So how long time it will take to stop the war?
In what I'm saying, listen, if the petition gonna achieve like 100 million people, which is nothing in India, so we gotta immediately start the process of the initiation from Ukraine, this voting in the United Nations. Since this voting happened, from this moment the war will stop. Why? Because all of his demands, orders, and deeds gonna be demolished automatically by law, because he is incompetent.
Stop war and then discuss. This is the first prima facie.
Yes, no revenge, but stop war.
जी आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
Thank you very much.
कि आपने इस तरह के विषय
Guys,
को
I can provide my email address.
वार्तालाप की
Thank
लेकिन आपको क्या लगता है कि इस तरह से जो है ये करना जरूरी था, क्योंकि सभी तो जानते हैं कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय मोदी जी कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, किसी भी देश में हस्तक्षेप कर सकते हैं, किसी भी मसले को हल कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ क्या आपको लगा कि प्रेस क्लब में कि आप अपनी बात रखें कि मोदी तक बात पहुँचे, ऐसा क्या कहा?
भारत देश एक ऐसा देश
माइक पकड़ना था या वीडियो करना।
प्राचीन काल से सभी सारे दूसरी कंट्रियाँ भारत के प्रति एक विशेष मान्यता रखते हैं, एक विशेष दृष्टि रखते हैं, एक विशेष सोच रखते हैं कि ये भारत देश हमारा ऋषि मुनियों का देश है,
ये सब के साथ है।
देवी देवताओं का देश है, जहाँ नाना प्रकार के ऋषि मुनि हैं। इस वजह से और माननीय श्री प्रधानमंत्री जी नरेंद्र मोदी जी उन्होंने देश विदेश में इतने संबंध बनाए, भारत के जो आज जहाँ जहाँ संबंध नहीं थे वहाँ भी उन्होंने संबंध बनाए। तो वह एक प्रभावशाली व्यक्ति है, उनके अंदर ये गुण है कि वह कहीं भी हस्तक्षेप करके शांति का प्रस्ताव रखे ये बात कर सकते हैं। तो इसीलिए हमको लगा कि प्रेस में जाके हमारा बात उन तक पहुँचाना है।
ये अच्छी बात है, लेकिन ये तो विदेशों में क्या हो रहा है उसके ऊपर आप ये कॉन्फ्रेंस रखती है, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान में हिंदुत्व को बचाने के लिए क्या आपकी कोई मुहिम है जो आपने छेड़ रखी है, या कुछ भविष्य के लिए हिंदुत्व को बचाने के लिए, हिंद राष्ट्र घोषित करने के लिए आप क्या कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, ये एक बहुत ही गहरा पॉलिटिकल मुद्दा है, इसके ऊपर अभी हम कोई भी विशेष बात नहीं करना चाहते।
आप मठ के मठाधीश हैं, आप अपनी बात रख सकते हैं, आपकी बात रखनी
समय आने पे इसको रखा जाएगा। समय आने पे
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप यहाँ पधारे, थैंक यू वेरी मच। ओम नमो शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। और कुछ एनीथिंग यू से अबाउट इन हिंदी? You know only Om Namah Shivaya, only Om Namah Shivaya. And what is your mission in this regard, in this conference? What is your mission actually? What is your mission? What do you think? What do you think? Do you know English?
You don't need to spend
Yeah, you look here. Your name is Shivapriya. Yeah. Who is he?
Don't need help him. Don't.
Who is he? No, you leave it. Who is he? Sir, actually, what do you want to say in Ukraine and Putin? What they do? And what is your mission?
Brother, my mission is to show the way how to stop the war immediately and start peaceful process.
In which country you belong?
I am citizen of Canada
Canada.
and I am citizen of Ukraine.
You are from Ukraine.
Yeah, I was born in Ukraine.
Ukraine.
I was born in Ukraine.
And now live in India.
Now I come to India to pray to Mahashivaratri, to make puja and ask Mahadev to find solution. Pray and cry. And then I got solution and I share my solution given me by Mahadev, who is protected Ukraine, but the symbol of Ukraine is a triangle of Mahadev. This is the symbol of Ukraine. Mahadev protect Ukraine. Slava Ukraini.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.